As women, we share traits that make us powerful, such as empathy and strength. Women of Reflection is where every woman is unified in sisterhood. Together, we celebrate, we embrace, we rise as strong, divine women. We are warriors.
Hello, warriors. Welcome back to Women of Reflection podcast. I am your host, Chevy, and tonight we are stepping into a very special episode. I am so excited, guys. Season 3, episode 1 is officially here. It is about love, loss, and legacy. And when I thought of who I wanted to sit beside me for this first conversation, there was no question. My guest co-host is more than just a friend. She is my sister, my confidant, and truly my pumpkin. She carries a story of love and loss, and that has shaped the woman she is today. She lives every day honoring the legacy of her brother, who meant the world to her. But what I admire most is that she doesn't just live in the shadow of loss. She lives in the light of legacy. She carries him with strength, grace, and purpose, and that's what we're going to talk about tonight. So, family, lean in with us as we reflect, laugh, and maybe even shed some tears, because tonight is about celebrating the life of Jay, love and power, and his legacy. Warriors, please welcome Dianna. Dianna, say hello to the Warrior platform.
What it do, baby?
So tell our Warrior listeners who you are.
Okay, so you already said my name is Dianna. I am a proud big sister. I'm a mama of 2. I love sharks. Love me some tattoos. Love me some Halloween. I'm a big foodie. You already know this. I'm a big foodie.
Yes.
And I love my tracks.
I love it. All right, so we're going to jump right into the questions.
Okay.
When you think about your brother, what do you remember most about the love you shared?
It was laughter. Everything was laughter. We joked around a lot. So that was part of our dynamic. We were fun. We never took anything too serious, and God forbid we ever did. It's like we looked at each other and we're like, nah. That's too, he's like, that's too serious for us. So no. But that's what comes to mind.
Yeah.
Laughter for sure. That was us.
How did losing him so suddenly shape the way you see life and love today?
It was hard for sure.
Mm-hmm.
It was one of those things where I primarily came back from Arizona because we had one last conversation. I was going through some stuff in Arizona, and he was my little big brother, as I would. So I came back for him, and losing him so abruptly rocked my world, because it was one of those things where he had said to me, I'm never leaving you. I always got you. That was his thing. And he failed there. And it's not necessarily that he failed, but life happens, I suppose. I hated life. I hated life for quite some time. And I thought life is so unfair. Very unfair. Because I couldn't do anything to save him. And as much as I'm talking about that night itself. You know, that this was December 3rd. Thank you.
Yeah.
This was
go through that night.
December 3rd, 2022. It's rough. Remembering back, getting that knock on our fence from law enforcement. We had West Palm PD show up at the house at 6:45. And I can jot down the times and give you the times, like if it just happened yesterday.
Wow.
It was 6:45 p.m. and cops are knocking at our fence and come out. It was myself at the time, my daughter's dad, my stepdad, and my mom. Because the officer was like, are you the family members of Jonathan? That was my brother's legal name. He never went by his government name. He said it sounded too serious. So his name is Jonathan. And the officer was just like, are you the family members of Jay? And I'm quick to jump in action. Jonathan, I'm sorry. And I was like, yeah, that's my brother. And without much detail, the officer was like, there's been an accident. And I'm waiting for him to give me more. He's pausing because I think he paused because he saw my hesitation, like what's going on. And he said, there's been an accident. Jonathan has been injured. And I was just like, well, what happened? What happened? He said, when you get to the hospital, the doctors will tell you. We just need you to get there as soon as possible. I want to leave out the details of exactly what happened just because it was very traumatic.
Yeah.
But it was something very serious, of course. Mm-hmm. So that was that, he said we needed to get there, which we did. I did because my mom didn't know what to do. Her first thing was like, you go and you don't have to tell me twice. Anything that comes when I came to him, I was quick to jump on it. So I went. And that drive from the house to St. Mary's felt like it took forever. I felt like time was going by so slow and I wasn't getting there in time. So I get there and I'm waiting. I was just like, I'm the, family member of Jonathan. But the hospital didn't understand that at the moment. They just had me wait. I'm sorry, in the waiting area. The nurse comes out. And she was just like, I only have an alias, family members of Jay. So I'm assuming the people that my brother was with at that evening had given paramedics or the doctors the name of Jay, which is fine, because whatever. Mm-hmm. So I get there and, I'm waiting. I'm talking to her. I was like, that's me. And she goes, before I take you back, I need to talk to you. And it was one of those things where it's just like, what do you mean? I'm just trying to get to him, right? And she pulls me to a little room on the side before they walk me back towards the emergencies area. So she pulls me to the room and she said, I just want to let you know that before I take you back, his injuries are very serious. I'm like, well, what do you mean? Like, what happened? And she's like, given the circumstances, he's all intubated. He has tubes coming out of his mouth. There's wires, a lot of stuff. And I was just like, okay. I'm like, is he going to be okay? I just kept interrupting her and asking her, is he going to be okay? And she was just like, I'll be honest with you. There's nothing we can do. I'm like, what do you mean? And I'm like, there's got to be something you can do. She said, I don't think he's going to make it. And that to me, being a big sister, my first thing, I was like, you don't know him. You don't know him. I was like, yes, he will. I'm like, you don't know my brother. He's strong. He will. And then she was just like, I understand. She's like, but his injuries are really bad. He's lost a lot of blood. She's like, I just want you to prepare yourself for what you're going to see when I take you. And I was like, okay. Walking back towards, I think they called it a trauma room or something.
Yeah.
It was trauma room number 8. I remember that.
Wow.
Trauma room 8. Big, big room. The stretcher was right in the middle. And the only thing I could the first thing that popped out at me was the tubes coming out of his mouth. And I'd see him trying to, I guess, catch a breath. She told me he was not conscious, but again, I know him better than these doctors know him. Mm-hmm. I'll tell you that for a fact. So, of course, seeing him like that, I gave out a big cry. And I yelled out his nickname. The nickname that I had for him and my grandma was Nonas. because when he was a baby, he couldn't say his name. So we would call him Nonas. So I screamed out his name. And I went to him and I like held his hand and I could see his chest was kind of like rising up. I'm not sure if he was trying to breathe on his own. I don't really know. I just remember told him, I was just like, I'm here. I made it. I'm here. I'm here for you. And I made it. But seeing him like that, it's something that it's an image that I will never get out of my head, you know?
Mm-hmm.
I remember telling him, like, every time I finished saying it, I was just like, I'm here for you. I made it. You got this. You're going to make it out. I got you. Well, I remember how you would tell me, I got you. I got you. I was like, I'm right here. I was just like, Nonas, you got this. And at some point I was holding his hand, but I was gripping it hard.
Yeah.
And his fingers weren't really interlocking with mine. But there was a point in time where I said, Papi, I got you. I love you and you're going to make it out. And I'm here for you and you're not alone. Kept telling him, I was like, you're not alone. And I felt him squeeze my hand.
Wow.
And I was just like, I know you hear me. I know you hear me talking to you. I was just like, I'm here for you. I'm here. I'm here. And I remember the surgeon came down with the same nurse. And he said, there's nothing we can do based on the severities of his injuries. It didn't seem like he cared because he just stood above him and he's like, there's nothing we can do. I was like, nothing? I'm like, you repair heart arteries. Doctors repair heart arteries, but you can't repair.
Mm-hmm.
But in that moment, I think I was just desperate.
Mm-hmm.
And I just wanted him to be saved.
Mm-hmm.
And it was unfortunate that there was nothing really that could be done.
Yeah.
But past that 8:23 p.m. I remember that. My biological dad was there. My brother passed with them not speaking. But I just did the right thing as a daughter, I assume, if you want to call it that, on calling him. Mind you, they weren't on speaking terms. So I called him, and I called him 6 times, and he didn't answer the phone.
Wow.
And then I called his girlfriend at the time, and I asked him, I was just like, where is my dad? She's like, oh, he's sitting right here. And I was just like, okay. In the middle of in tears and choking up, I was just like, you guys need to get here as soon as possible. My brother's dying. This is prior to him passing that night. But I do remember calling his girlfriend, and she's like, well, what do you mean? What happened? I was just like, my brother's dying, and I think the right thing to do would be for him to be here.
Yeah.
I didn't do it for myself because I know I didn't have to call him.
Yeah.
But I think I also would have carried that heavily if I didn't tell him what was happening. Again, they weren't on speaking terms. They hadn't spoken, I want to say, in 3 years.
Wow.
Well, that's a lot.
And that's for that to be that long and for you in that moment to still think about that and put that first above your own emotions in the moment. That says a lot of your strength.
It was
as a
hard.
sister. Yeah.
It was hard because I always knew that he felt some sort of resentment towards my dad because he didn't really put that effort.
Yeah.
In wanting to have that bond with him.
Yeah.
I was their buffer. I was always in between.
Mm-hmm.
I would always tell, you know how dad is. Sucks at communicating. It is what it is, you know. And my dad was the same way. Would ask, how's your brother doing? Have you asked him? Have you tried?
Yeah.
Oh, it's because he doesn't answer the phone. I'm like, well, then I guess we're back to square one. Whatever.
So in that moment, how did your dad feel? Once you called him, did he the hospital drive?
He did come.
Okay.
He made it still when my brother's heart was still beating. So they just kept telling us that he was unconscious, but I didn't share with anyone in that moment that he had squeezed my hand.
Mm-hmm.
It was kind of like a him and I type of thing.
Yeah.
But my dad made it. And it was just weird because I hadn't seen him in a long time either since coming back. So it was parts of people being there was a blur, but I remember him clear as day.
Mm-hmm.
I do remember around like 7:15-ish, Nurse Ashley came back in the room and she brought a document down. And she asked me if I wanted to sign for him as a DNO, or if I would have liked for them to continue to try and keep him alive. At that point, he had already lost a lot of blood. So in the little sense that I had at the time, I was just like, they're going to hurt him more.
Yeah.
I didn't want to put him through any more pain than he already was in.
Yeah.
So I chose not to. My brother was also an organ donor.
Okay.
He changed the lives of 6 people. I wish I was able to like see or meet these people somewhere along the line. I put it out there in the universe. Hopefully one day I am blessed enough to have that privilege. If not, it's okay. But at least I know and for myself that he changed the lives of 6 people. So
And how do you know that the hospital?
the organ donation agencies that certain parts of his body went to reached out.
Okay.
They don't necessarily have to do that, but I guess out of common courtesy, they let me know. They called me and they let me know that sorry to get all into detail, but the left eyeball went here, the right eyeball went over there. Skin graft went to this person, bone went to this person. So we got a certificate in the mail once, one for myself, one for my mom. Ironically, it said something about legacy.
Really?
Yes. I was just thinking about that. It says legacy in there, and they gave us a certificate, and it said, like, despite loss, he changed the lives. Well, blah, 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 and whatever.
I love how it circles back to legacy.
It all full circle.
Definite.
Full circle. Yeah.
Are you comfortable with sharing how old he was when he passed?
Yes, he was 23.
Wow.
23 years. He had just turned 23.
Really?
His birthday was November 15th. Scorpio.
Yep.
Only Scorpio that I love.
I love this. Okay. How has keeping your brother's memory alive influenced the way you pour others?
He was the life of the party.
I was waiting for you to say
he was the life of the party. Yes. Anywhere that kid went, he shifted that energy, and it was just like happy. There was never a dull moment around him, and sometimes he could have been having the shittiest day, but he would dance it off, eat it off. That's one thing. He loved to eat, but he was small as a toothpick.
So it was his love language too, like
it
yours.
Was definitely his love. That was our thing, okay? So music was his thing. God, that kid can get down and dance, and I can't do that. My knees would give out. But he would do that. He would shift the room.
Wow.
And it was always light and positivity. And I kid you not, I wake up every morning, sometimes with my aches and pains, of course, because I'm older than him. I'm 7 years older than him, so do the math, whatever. I'm not going to disclose my age. But I get up with that mindset of like, what can I do to implement his ways to be a little like him? Not more like him, but a little like him, because I still have to be me.
That's right.
But I have to twist it and add a little sprinkle of J in there.
And that's my next question. So what are some lessons or values your brother lived by that you carry today? So I want to tell our guest, she has a shark, guys. She has a little shark stuffed animal. It's so cute.
Thank you.
Tell us about your shark. Is that like something that your brother valued?
He loved sharks.
Okay.
With everything that he had. You would ask him since he was a kid, what animal, if you were an animal, what would you be? A shark? But why? Because they're cool? But what makes them cool? I don't know, because they're cool. That was just, God forbid you ask Jay to go into details, because cause like this, cause like that. Anyway, but he loved sharks,
Okay.
which is very different. I mean, kids nowadays or like, I don't know, teenagers like, oh, a lion and a tiger. It's something so basic.
Yeah.
But he went for a shark.
Yeah.
Okay. So he loved sharks. Initially, we were supposed to get a shark tattoo together. It was once supposed to be a hammerhead shark, and it was just a regular shark. That never happened. But he loved sharks. So I do have a shark with me. And shout out to Mom, aka Mama Estelle. She gave this to me 2 days after my brother passed. So backstory to that. My brother passed on a Saturday. We just had Sunday. I went back to work on Monday.
Wow.
And the whole drive to work was long. And the first person to greet me out my car, like usual, was Mom. And she just looked at me. And she's like, baby, what's wrong? You know how Mom talks.
Yeah.
And I just dropped into her arms and I was just like, my brother. Mom's an angel. Yeah. And I tell her every time that she's a blessing. Because when I really needed that support, when I felt so alone, and I didn't want to talk to anyone, there was her.
Yeah.
And I'm forever thankful for her. Because she really got me through days where I didn't want to. I didn't want to be anywhere. I just wanted to breathe and just kind of exist. But mom's a true angel on earth. She gave me him. She gave me my Sharky. Because Mom knew that my brother loved sharks. So I don't know how she found it.
Yeah.
But she went out of her way to give me comfort.
You need that community support during that. She really is. I tell her she's a guardian. Love you, Mom.
I know you're going to listen to this.
Well, I'm happy that you had someone by your side, because that's another thing. Like, when you're dealing with loss, isn't it like hard to let people in?
Okay. I'm very difficult to let people in. I refuse. I'm not really much of a, friendly. Like, no, that's not me. If your energy doesn't vibe with mine, if I may not say, but my face says it all. So, I didn't really talk much, let alone after the fact. I was silent, very, very silent. But the only person that I wanted to talk to was her.
Wow.
Not even my biological mother.
Yeah.
I love her, but I couldn't, because I had to be strong.
Yeah.
I didn't want her to know that I was going through it.
Yeah.
And I had Mom to give me that safe space
where you could release it.
where I could release it.
So it seems like in this whole situation, you had to represent strength for not just yourself, but you had to show up for your mom and your dad in that way too. So you suppressed a lot of your feelings and let it out with Mama Estelle when you were around her.
And it was one of those things where sometimes she didn't know. Like, it's not like I was vocal about it. It's like she knew. She would just walk into my cube and I'd be silently crying.
Yeah.
My back was to the rest of the ladies in the office. So they didn't see me or anything like that. But Mom's cube is right next to mine. So I'd be super silent. But when it was like a silence that she was not used to for me,
Feel your spirit.
she would come and she would hug me. And she would just say, I got you. Mom would always hug me. She still does, but it was like in that season, I had it a lot.
How was it having to hold all that together? Because you only work Monday through Fridays. So in the journey of planning like the funeral and getting everything together and still being strong for your parents. That's their child. How was that? Heaviness. How did it be heavy?
Very heavy. Because
Mhm.
not only did I have to show up being strong for them, but for my kids.
I was going to say, your babies.
It's hard.
Yeah.
It's kind of like flipping a switch
Yeah.
where I'm going to cry it out for 2 minutes and then wipe it off, keep moving.
Wow.
I would cry from the office to the house, which is like a good 6-7 minutes solid, 10 minutes tops. And that was my time. And then got home, like nothing happened.
Yeah.
And we did not tell my grandma that my brother passed. She found out 5 months later.
Whoa.
It's because my grandma's health is very delicate. Mind you, my brother was her baby. She pretty much raised him. I think she would have followed behind because that was
Her baby.
That was her baby. He was 23 years old, but that kid was spoiled rotten. Spoiled.
Oh, so you protected grandma.
Yeah.
You had to be strong for mom and dad and your two babies. That's a lot to carry in a season of grief.
Still is. I'll tell you that for a fact. Still is.
Wow.
And I don't really get to talk about him much at home, which sucks. That was his home.
Yeah.
But it seems like it's a little forbidden to talk about him.
Yeah.
And I feel like sometimes he's being hurt, and that hurts.
Well, there are different stages to how people grieve. And I think maybe you speaking about him in a light that makes you feel that he lives on is different compared to who's in your home. Like your mom and your grandma, your dad. So, but you shouldn't suppress that. We're talking about him tonight. We're celebrating you tonight, Jay. We love you. You live on.
He sure does.
Yes.
I'm his vessel.
I love that.
I'm his vessel. I know to some people they don't believe in signs, after you lose a loved one and whatnot, but Jay shows up for me in ways that him and I understand. And Jay has shown up for people that I love in very interesting ways.
Yeah.
But I love the fact that he still lets me know that he is with his day. And I talk to him, and I may sound crazy to people when I say that. When I try to share it with people, I kind of peep their facial expressions. And that's how I determine this is not the person I should be sharing.
I love that.
And then once I say, I will say one thing, and I just kind of leave it at that. Because that's all it takes for me to... he's not for everybody.
Well, I would like to share with the audience that I've learned so much about sharks thanks to Jay. Just spending time with you and you speaking about him, I feel like I personally know him myself, and I love that. I love it because I've learned so much. She also has this, what is it, a sticker?
Yes.
On the back of her truck that says "Live Like Jay." And hearing how he was as a person, it's just an exciting way to really celebrate him and let the world know to live like him and to continue that legacy. So I love it. I know that you say that in different aspects and areas of your life, he's silent and it feels that way. But girl, you drive that truck around the whole Florida. And I kid you not, his life lives on every time.
It does. Other people that knew him that were friends, acquaintances, whatever you want to call them, they have long lived Jay. Love that for them. But I'm his sister, so I rock that shit differently. Sorry, excuse my language. I rock that differently.
Yeah.
Gotta live like Jay. But not everybody can live like Jay. People try, and I've seen it, but he's not for everybody. And I've said that before. When things were fresh, it's like people may have known him. He was very known in like the car community. He used to love his cars, Hondas specifically. Always catch him out in little car show meet, whatever. But he was very well-mannered, I'll tell you that.
Yeah.
All the elderly women loved him. I'll tell you that. But he wasn't... Not a lot of people knew the real, the raw, and the uncut Jay.
So In the midst of grief, what helped you begin the journey towards healing? And I know that you said I'm still going through it. And that's fine.
I'm still going through it.
Especially because you know what I think for you? I think you suppress so much to show up for the people you love. So when you give a little, it's like in dispense. You're just giving a little bit of pain today, then you suppress for the next 6 months or the next 8 months, and then you give a little bit again.
Not you telling me about myself.
Yeah, it's like,
you clocking me.
I think that's why it's a journey. So I want to know, in the midst of grief, what helped you begin the journey towards healing?
That's tough. I know at some point I hit rock bottom. I was drowning myself in alcohol and I was losing myself to it. I had a reality check one afternoon and I could feel his spirit being upset at me.
Wow.
And that was my, you're done. This is not what you would have wanted for you. And that's where I was just like, I need to change.
Mm-hmm.
I need to be grateful for the life that I still have.
Mm-hmm.
And implement the fact that I'm not only living for myself, but I'm living for him too. Because he was 23. He was, in my eyes, he was still a kid, still a baby, even though he was taller than me.
So am I.
Even though he was taller than me, but that was still my baby. But he is the reason why at some point I decided to become a mom. Because he would tell me when we would have our one-on-ones, he's like, the day you decide to become a mom, you're going to be a good mom. And he never failed to tell me that. He would always tell me, he's like, you're the best mom, sister anybody could ever have. And it sucks not getting that. Because sometimes he's the only person that I want to hear it from, and I don't have it. And I know I have my days where I'm just existing, and I go silent. And I know you've experienced that for yourself.
Yeah.
Because he's the only person that I want to call. Well, no, he's not really the only person I want to call. But it would be nice to hear it from him. Sometimes I don't feel like I'm doing enough. I feel like sometimes I overspeak and I underdeliver. And I mean that all across with the girls at work, with my kids, with myself. I say I want to do all this stuff or things are going to get better. And I don't think I'm doing. So it's a journey.
Yeah.
It's been a journey and every day is a reset. Not all days are perfect. I say that to myself, but I'm just blessed to be here another day, to be able to tell his story, to be able to tell people about him, live for him, to live for my kids, because they didn't ask to be here. That's on me. And to just enjoy the little things, even if it's a Gordo burger.
Or the water. Love the beach.
Yes.
Just taking in that reflection of water, letting your mind just sit with the feeling and the emotion in that moment. That's peace.
Definitely is. I am big on my peace.
Wait, I want to share with the listeners. We connected because we both we're big on peace.
Absolutely.
So that's where I was just like, I love her. She's like, we connected on that.
Mind you, I know that the first day that you met me, I was just like, that.
Yeah.
And that's that.
And I was like, oh my gosh, this girl has no heart.
I know, I don't take offense to that because I love that. I thrive on it like, yeah, I don't. But you got to really get to know me.
Yeah.
To realize that I do have feelings. That I am human. Yeah. To others, I don't give a fuck. I really don't. It's just how I am. I think I've lived through certain situations where I have come to realize that I'm not for everybody either.
That's right.
To get to experience the real, raw, and uncut version of me, you really gotta listen to And I don't mean like me tell you like, oh, do this, do that. Listen. No, I mean like actually listen to my story.
I say get to know your heart. And I feel like if I would have taken that first impression in that first moment and became defensive, I was like, that don't scare me. I'm going back in there. That's right. I'm coming back in there stronger. So, and that was it. And I think that's where we connected. Once we connected at the heart, y'all heard me. She's my pumpkin. Okay. I love her. Like, yeah, we have a lot in common, believe it or not. And we learn from one another. She has helped me grow so much. And I don't know. I'm happy. I'm happy that like I'm not a runner. I'm here for it. Like, all right.
She's a runner, she's a track star. No,
Not I.
You know what? I don't think I've necessarily helped you out. I have been your supporter in it. And I love to be front row in those bleachers watching you. And as an outsider looking in, Chevs, you're doing it.
Thanks,
and I am proud of you. And like I was telling you earlier, seeing your vision come to life and what you put out into the universe, this is what life is about. And I didn't think like that before. I learned to think. Because again, it all circles back to him. Whatever you envision, you only got one life to live. And as he would say, fuck it, bro, it's your life. Do what makes you happy. He would say, if you want to be a stripper, fuck it. Make that movie. But it's whatever you envision. You just gotta put in the work because nothing is ever really given to us.
Right.
And stepping on people's shoulders ain't it either.
No, it's not.
You don't get things like that. That's
so true.
That's a no-go. That's foul play. But whatever. That's clockwork for another day.
Next topic. All right. So what are some acts of service or ways that we can continue to honor legacy?
Oh my God. Play some Pop Smoke. He loved Pop Smoke. That was his thing. And he would, I don't know exactly what the dance was called, but he would do his little dance. And it was just like, dance it off, laugh it off, be happy.
Yeah.
He was one of those where it's just like I said, he would say, fuck it, it's your life. Let me be happy. Let me do me. Work. He was big on his money. That kid loved his money. And
he's a hard worker too.
He was a hard worker. He was a truck driver. He was just a statewide truck driver. He would go from point A to point B in Florida, delivering flowers or like succulents for like Lowe's, Home Depot.
I love that. And you can take your time with this. J. Life could speak to the world today. What message do you think he would want us all to hear? And just think about the season, like everything that we're going through, we're experiencing, we're carrying. If he was here today, let us know. What would Jay do?
Let it go and keep it moving.
I felt that.
We cannot dwell on things that refrain us from being happy. He was a happy kid. I know he had his days, where we're all human,
Yeah.
But he would let it go and keep it moving. So that would be something that he would say.
I love that because I feel like, I took a year off and I've lost a lot. I've gained a lot. I loved a lot. Now I'm ready to like really step into what legacy is for me. So, and Women of Reflection is a very, very, it's the heart. It's what keeps me alive. I love giving back. I love speaking and helping and enlightening and empowering others.
Yes, you do.
I do.
You do. I kid you not, you do. And leaving a legacy, I think I have to clarify this. Leaving a legacy doesn't necessarily mean you gotta die to be remembered like that.
Yeah.
No. You are a walking legacy. Anybody that gets to meet you is meeting a little bit of that legacy. Whether and not everybody's gonna get the same version of you.
No.
But you're a walking legacy. I'm a walking legacy.
Yes.
And your kids are walking legacies.
That's right.
Big or small.
That's right.
So
Love it. Okay. If our listeners were holding a mirror right now, what words of love or hope would you want them to speak over themselves? So I just need you to really just tell me like a positive reflection, something you would like to leave for our audience to carry on into their own journey, love, loss, life.
to love myself and to be about my peace. To continue to be about my peace.
What an amazing episode. Dianna, my pumpkin, I truly just want to say thank you. I know that reliving that night and reliving these moments and speaking about it to a platform is a difficult thing to do. And you've done it so well and so great. And I truly appreciate you sharing that with my warrior audience tonight. And my reflection as I close out this episode, I just want to say that this really spoke to me. I know it will speak to so many of you. Losing someone you love is one of the hardest things we face in life. And as I reflect on the difference in your age from your brother, how you are still young. And the hardest part about losing someone and processing that loss, there's no timeline, no right way to get through it. But what I've learned and what we heard today is that even in loss, love still lives. Your story, Dianna, shows us that strength doesn't mean you don't feel pain. It means you carry it with love and you still show up for the people who need you. That right there is legacy. That's what it means to keep someone's memory alive. And you're really the vessel for your brother and his life. Keeping his legacy alive. You have done that tonight. So, if you're grieving right now, please know you're not alone. And my prayer is that this episode gives you a little bit of comfort and hope. Share it with someone who might need to hear that reminder as well. And don't forget, your takeaway from tonight and your reflection to move forward is that love never leaves us, that loss may shape us but does not define us, and that legacy is the gift we leave in the lives we touch. Dianna, I want to say thank you again for being a rock and for sharing this testimony and this journey of the life of your brother. As we celebrate him today, I also hope that this episode encourages many around the world. Until next time, keep reflecting, keep rising, and never forget, we are warriors.